Return of the Jedi is the conclusion to the original Star Wars trilogy, and even though most people would say it's the weakest of the original trilogy, a lot of people still really enjoy this film. And for a while, I really enjoyed this movie as well, or at least I thought it was decent. But then rewatching it on the Blu-ray, which is the current canon version, and as far as the official canon version of Return of the Jedi goes, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's aged well. And it's not just because of the special edition changes, which we'll get to that here in a bit, but I still found a lot of problems with Return of the Jedi that I just can't really get over. Well, let me start off with the good first. For one, Luke Skywalker, at least in the original Star Wars trilogy, is the best he has ever been. I love the complete transformation that he's gone throughout this entire trilogy. He started off as like a whiny guy in A New Hope, but then kind of arrogant and impatient in Empire Strikes Back. Now this guy is a true Jedi, and I thought that was really strong in terms of development. Also, Darth Vader is an incredible character in this movie. It's not even really that he's great from a villain perspective. It's just, again, when you see his arc in the film, it's just a fantastic character development. And the Emperor, even though you don't know a lot about him, is also a really interesting character because you know there's this history behind him. He sort of reminds me of Snoke in The Last Jedi, where, again, you don't know a lot about him, but you just know there's this kind of history within him. And there are some pretty good effects in this movie, like the space battle at the end, I thought had some pretty good effects. Again, there's some effects during this scene that I don't feel like hold up all that well, but for the most part, they do. And weirdly enough, there is one special edition change in Return of the Jedi that I do like and that I do prefer over the original, and that's the ending music of the film, which you know what I mean. In the end of Return of the Jedi, there's this Yub Nub song or whatever, at least in the original version there was, and I'm not gonna lie, I was never into Yub Yub, or Yub Nub, I don't know what it's called, I'm just gonna call it Yub Yub, okay? It's Yub Yub. I never liked Yub Yub, I mean, yeah, I guess I remember it, but I don't remember it for good reasons. I remember it because I thought it was annoying, and I'll get into more as to why I think it's annoying here in a bit. But I feel like the music in the special edition of Return of the Jedi was actually a lot better. It feels more grand, and it feels more like an ending to this era of Star Wars. Now let's get into the bad, because there's a lot of bad in this movie that I didn't realize before. For one, remember why I said there's some visual effects in this movie that look really good? Well, there's a lot of effects that don't. There's a lot of green screen that looks absolutely terrible, and considering the 2011 Blu-ray edition is what's canon, and canon is canon, well, I'm sorry, a lot of the CGI effects look horrible. And again, I'll get into the worst part about this here in a bit, but yeah, the visual, even when there's CGI, it doesn't look all that great. Another issue I have with the film, and look, I know it's beating a dead horse at this point because everyone complains about it, but I'm sorry, I fucking hate the Ewoks. These little teddy bear things are so stupid and so annoying. Why Ewoks? Now, some people would say, why not Wookiees? No, I don't want Wookiees either, because then we get the Star Wars Holiday Special where all we saw was Wookiees. Why can't it just be the Empire versus the Rebellion? I'm way more interested in that conflict than the conflict between the Empire and these dumb Ewoks. Now, some people would defend the Ewoks saying, oh wait, but they're vicious on the inside. Yeah, we do see that they are vicious, like they do, or at least are willing to eat people and kill people and burn them alive and whatnot. True, but still, they look stupid. They look ridiculous. They have these stupid voices. I get that it's supposed to be like, what's the term? It's not what is on the outside, it's what's on the inside or whatever. It's sort of like playing with expectations, but go all the way whenever they turn into savages, because they just look ridiculous. And let me get to another issue I have with this movie, and it's the Jabba Palace scene. I have so many issues with this scene. For one, a lot of these puppets or animatronics look ridiculous. Like, I feel like Jabba himself looks great, but some of these guys look like they should be on the Muppet Show. Like, what's this elephant doing there? Like, Really? Him? Why? But also, this scene goes on for way too long. I think this goes on for nearly a third of the entire movie, and it really did not need to be that long. I'm sorry, but Jesus Christ, and it's not even entertaining. It's not, like, it just goes on for way too long. And then we get to the absolute worst part of this movie, which I absolutely hate, and I think it's one of the worst scenes in Star Wars history. The Jedi rocks scene. Oh my god. Kill me. This song is so bad. It's so badly CGI'd. It's so needless. It doesn't match the tone of the film at all, especially once you get to the actual dark shit between Luke, Vader, and the Emperor, which actually is good and entertaining. No, we have this musical sequence, and I'm blaming this squarely on George Lucas because he was actually a co-writer on Return of the Jedi, and this is where the George Lucas-isms start to show, because all the shitty stuff in here I could easily see coming from George Lucas's mind. Oh, look, Ewoks are like little teddy bears. All right, let's do that. Ooh, a musical sequence in this movie, even though it doesn't match the tone at all? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Good God. It's just so stupid. Like, ugh. Look, I know I keep shitting on George Lucas, but God, he does not come up with very good ideas, or at the very least, his ideas are not well thought out. And if there's another special edition change in this that I really don't like, and it's one they kept, actually, I think this is one that's new to the current version of the film. It's where, I'm not gonna say when, but it's a scene where Darth Vader's like, no, no, and I'm like, did you have to do that? Really? We could see what was going on in his mind during that scene. So yeah, and look, I'm sorry, I know a lot of people love Return of the Jedi, and I can understand if you do, but God, I'm very mixed on Return of the Jedi. I'm mixed at best. That's how I describe this movie. I'm mixed on it at best. I might be leaning more towards the negative when it comes to Return of the Jedi. It's just, there's a lot of good things in there, but man, the bad stuff in this movie is just so bad. And I'd probably even go as far as to say that I think Return of the Jedi is the most overrated Star Wars movie of all time. I'm not gonna get a lot of hate for that, I'm pretty sure.